Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to a video, bit of a special one, so straight off a huge shout out and thanks to our friends at Tamashii Nations for allowing me to do a early review for this year's, the 2024 event exclusive edition releases. So super pumped to get into this, so I am splitting the video, so we have Goku here. But there will also be a video for Trunks and Jiren, so you can go check those out. Just to, give each figure a bit more of a focus and to hopefully keep the videos, a little bit shorter. I am splitting them for that reason. So yeah, this will be available at San Diego Comic-Con from the 25th to 28th, I believe. You do need to pick up a ticket, so if you have tickets to the event, go to, I think it's the Marriott Hotel. I'll have the details in the link below. But you go there, you pick your purchase slip, which will give you time to go to the booth so you can pick it up. They do have slots available where you don't need to pre-book, but obviously that will risk, the items selling it before you get a chance of buying. So if you do want them, I recommend going early, getting those slips. So this year, woohoo, super excited. They have already announced that these will be available on P-Bandai for pre-order after the event, as well as the New York store. So if you can't attend the event, don't worry, you will have a chance to get in these. So definitely hold off for that announcement for those pre-orders open. The last few years they have been up on P-Bandai and they've been relatively easy to get. Now if you're not in the USA, no details yet. Previous years though, they have been available in multiple other countries, basically anywhere except for Japan. So as long as you don't live in Japan, you shouldn't have too much issue. Now if you're not in the USA or another country that can get them easily, hopefully you have some friends in the USA, if so you can get it via P-Bandai. But yeah, this is a stacked figure. The box is absolutely beautiful with their duotone classic event exclusive edition styling, and nice section images on the back. But anyway, so yeah, let's pop both Goku and Gohan out of the box here so we can see what we're getting with this awesome release. Now you know it's a good release when you don't have one, nor two, but three separate packages to contain all of the goodies that come with the release. But starting with the first one, Goku in the center, rocking that Kame symbol on his gi, which is absolutely amazing. Loving how we're getting that. We get windswept here. We get additional three face plates. So we've got the neutral smile, teeth gritting, a big happy one, a looking to the side happy face. And then we have Gohan, look how cute he is, massive smile, got the Dragonball on his hat, which is amazing. And then we get a separate top, so we can switch out the center torso from base standing to a bending over one. So we will take a look at that a little bit later in the video. Now these parts here are to recreate those iconic scenes from the intro or the eye catcher. Not sure what it's called in English, but midway through the episode before the ad break, they'd have that little bit clip. I guess it's called an eye catcher to catch your eye after the ad break if you've been waiting. But yeah, we basically recreate those scenes with this figure, which is awesome. But yeah, anyway, we'll get to that soon. Continue on with what we do get. We got the extra, what's that? I guess actually only one pair of hands here with the martial arts grip. Then we've got a kind of loose gripping one for the right hand, left hand one for holding onto his pole, another hand for actual gripping the pole, and with a flat hand there for doing his wave. Again to recreate some of those iconic poses. Now behind we have the beast of a Nimbus or KINTOUN, which is absolutely amazing, and I was expecting it to be really heavy. If you have the original Kid Goku with the Nimbus, that was heavy, right? Solid. This one's super light, which is awesome. And then we have the two tails for Nimbus, so a straight one, a curving one. We get Goku's power pole, and then we get a little bit clip to go on Gohan. So when you pose him with Goku, you can kind of clip it on there, so if he does fall, hopefully he won't fall too far, will just swing down. So that's pretty cool. Now unfortunately we don't get a stand to hold up the Nimbus, but he does have clouds there, but I will demonstrate what it looks like on a stand for those that will hopefully already have a few of the Tamashii stands, either from previous figures or from buying to pose your figures in your collection. But yeah, let's pop them out of this and we can chuck them on the turntable so we can take a look at that finish. Okay, so we've got them on the turntable, swinging, and I mean, just check out Gohan looking so cool. And then obviously with Goku, the whole gear color is completely different. Even if you compare to, say, the Sand Raised on Earth Goku, the blue for the belt and then the orange on the gear is completely different again. And I don't believe we've had this combination of colors on any other release. I mean, even the full power Goku deep navy blue, it is similar, but it seems just slightly different. Now the actual gear color, for me at least, I feel like it's a little bit more similar to that of the Dragonball Super Goku, ever so slightly, mainly in the lower pants. So yeah, the coloring on this figure is looking really nice, and I think those that have a keen eye might have already spotted it. But the boots, this is the first time we've had the design where the boots are round on the front opposed to more of a pointed tip. The lace around there is all different as well, so obviously it's matching the opening version of Goku, which is awesome. Plus we got the Kami symbol back, front. Oh, love that. And then the printing for the faceplates is absolutely amazing, crisp and clean. We will get a good close look at all the faceplates for Goku, and also the one for Gohan a little bit later in the video. But for now, coming back to the body for both of these. Goku gradation on the lower pants. The top part is your base plastic covering. From what I can see though, the skin tones from the neck, shoulder, arms is all matching really well. So on that front, yeah, look, it is your standard 2.0 body type, so no real drastic change there, which I think is perfectly fine for the event exclusive. And this is definitely a nice take on it. Main bonus being obviously that Kami symbol and the shoes. Now for little wee Gohan here, looking super cute, very similar to that of the one that came with Reddit's last year. We have that Dragonball on top, which is awesome, which you can see through, picks up the light beautifully. This is a nice soft rubber. We have a tail on the back which will move, as well as the hair, which is so cool. So the detailing on the Gohan is really nice. Plus he does have a little bit of articulation. But yeah, speaking of articulation, let's pop these guys off the turntable so we can check out the articulation. We'll have a quick look rundown for Goku as well, for those that may be new to the line who are just getting in since I saw this figure. Because seriously, as my Japanese friend said when this came in, he said, man, this is the definitive Goku. And after getting this, I have to agree. Faceplates, accessories, the Kami gi, everything like that, I think out of all the Goku releases, this is the one that every collector must have in their collection. So yeah, definitely definitive Goku indeed. But yeah, what do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with that statement. But yeah, for now, let's jump over to the articulation. Starting with Goku here, the usual motion on the head feels really nice. The neck especially feels like it moves really well. Going forward, a few mil down. He can definitely look up really well, and then the neck will pop up. So if you push it down to a line, that's about the max range of motion up without creating any bigger gaps. Now for the shoulder here, we do have the usual range of motion up and down, which is nice, and we do have a little bit of a butterfly joint, so you can bring the arms out and around, and depending on the position you have, you can kind of get them pretty close to touching, which is nice, especially if you combine a little bit of that elbow motion. Each arm has a bicep swivel as well, which is good, and then you have your elbow joint. Each hand is on a nice little peg. If you haven't changed the hands before, just grab on the arm and then the hand itself and just pull in a straight line. You want to keep the peg straight when you pull off and on to avoid any stress on that joint. It is small, they are really sturdy, but do be careful when putting them on and off. If you do find it is too hard to change, just warm up in a little bit of warm water, or you can use a hairdryer to warm up the plastic to expand it slightly, which will make it a bit easier if needed. I know a lot of new collectors or new people collecting these can be a little bit scared at first, but once you get used to it, it definitely isn't an issue. Now coming into the torso, nice swivel left and right. going back a few mil, going forward a few mil as well. The belt will also sort of up and down, which is cool, so it's really good to move this if you're trying to get a dynamic pose to help give a bit more flow and motion to your poses. But for now, let's just swivel it up. We also get the upper thigh swivel, which is nice. Forward motion of the leg, back motion on the leg as well, which is cool. And then the knee joint. So the knee one on this one is really nice. Decent range of motion there, and everything feels super smooth. Now for the foot, it is just on the ankle here, which will move, pivot and twist. So yeah, decent range, and same with the toe tip. So overall, basically if you have a GOKU, you'll know the range of motion first, but for anyone new, hopefully that does answer your questions. So yeah, let's put them down to the side, and then we can grab a little bit GOHAN here. Now for GOHAN, I was definitely surprised at the range of motion he has. The head is nice, look up really high, which is great, so you can have him standing there looking up at GOKU, which is great. Going forward as well, pretty good, and as we saw before, you can even move the back of his hair. This is on a little bit peg, so you can pop it off if needed, if it is slightly in the way for a particular pose or maybe doing some toy photography. Now the tail as well, we do have nice range of motion here, and then as well for the arms, it is just a single shoulder joint, but it moves and you can get up and around really well without too much issue. The hand as well, we can move it slightly, mainly a swivel though, which is really cool, so you can face it up or down depending on the pose that you are going for. Now for the legs, well, this is soft and we can move the legs here. If you bring it forward, it will split, and that is why we do get the additional torso piece, which is really cool. So it has the fold in there for you, so easy to switch on and off, which we can do in a moment, but also for the articulation we can move his feet, which is cool. Now to actually change the body, really easy, just pop the head off, that will come off with the neck as well. Then we grab each of the arms and just pull straight, and they'll pop right out of the socket. And then that will allow you to slot his top off, and that will reveal the inside. So yeah, as you can see here, the range of motion is with those legs there, which is really cool. So once you've popped off the top, you can take the replacement one, and you can just slide it in like so, and then you can start reattaching the limbs. So actually really easy to do. Yeah, I don't think you'd have any trouble. If it does feel a bit tight to you, again, you can just warm up slightly, and it should make it a bit easier if needed. Let it put that properly. There we go. It's popped in. Nice. So there we go. Now we have GOHAN in a kind of a sitting pose, which is great to basically, you can get GOKU's arm up and over, and GOHAN can sit up top like so. Kind of. Anyway, we'll do a pose showing it properly in the video shortly, but first let's take a closer look at these face plates, because these are awesome, especially that teeth gritting one. Oh man, check out these faces. Not only do we get the base here, we get the windswept here as well, so we get double the choice. That base, kind of a cocky smile, I love it. The lip coming up slightly, love that one with the windswept here as well. Really reminds me of that Sensei when he's showing down against Vegeta, right? But then we get the teeth gritting one. I think that was in the intro, right? Remember Rock the Dragon, when he does that sort of like, you know, fist pumping into the sky, teeth gritting like, ah! Really cool. And then obviously we get the really big happy GOKU faces. The straight looking one, side looking one, so we can mix and match to recreate all those iconic scenes. Now I think this is one of the best Dragon Ball figures that they've done in a long time for expressions. It's not just that usual teeth gritting, stern look, shouting look, but we actually get emotion in GOKU, which is very rare. So definitely pumped for all of their faceplates for this figure. I mean, that's on top of all of the other great parts with this release. So yeah, let's jump over to some of the accessories now as well. Obviously we've got the Power Pole, Nimbus, and then we'll do a couple of poses, and yeah, a little bit of a comparison to some other figures and the final thoughts. Okay, so we've got a very simple pose here of Goku showcasing that power pole. Yeah, so we get the one first hand here that can clench onto the pole properly, and then we also get the other hand, which is a bit more loose for gripping underneath, which is really cool. So you can do that iconic pose of Goku holding it in there, ready to dive in and start kicking some ass. Again, you can move the belt up a little bit to give a bit more fluidity to the pose. You can definitely play around with this a lot more, maybe try and get the elbow out a bit more, swivel up and around. But yeah, that's the fun thing about the articulated figures, right? You can change the pose, you know, some angles will look cool, others maybe not, so you may need to adjust. But definitely a lot of flexibility with the way that you can use this pole, which is awesome. I think, you know, maybe have him holding it out, you know, change the hand, do different, I don't know, not quite right hand here, but you know, I think you get the idea. Switch, yeah, just switch out, mix and match for different parts, you know, you can create some really cool poses. Yeah, one thing I would recommend keeping an eye on when you do pose though, depending on the angle, try to move the plastic parts up and around to cover the gaps as much as possible, and to try and keep the feet flat on the ground. That would definitely make it a lot easier to pose. And then obviously full balancing as well, which definitely helps when trying to go for a bit more of a dynamic pose. So I mean, yeah, Gohan is an accessory, but not really at the same time. But we do have him set up here, just resting on Goku's arm, doing one of those iconic poses. So cool. And since this is a nice rubber, it does grip really well. So even without a stand or anything like that, you can easily pose Gohan with Goku, which is awesome. So then no matter which, I'll hold on to it as I move him around here. Let's put him back on. Just kind of sits there. Oh, there we go. So yeah, no matter which angle you look at, he can look really cool since you're not using any clips or stands to attach him on. So check this bad boy out. This is huge. So let me get the Kid Goku one in for a comparison. So basically twice the size, but a lot lighter, which is really cool. And instead of having a fixed, I guess, wisp of a tail, what would it, trail? What would you call it? But anyway, instead of having a fixed one, we do get two additional ones which can slot in and out, which is really nice and easy to do. So then we can have one go straight, or we can switch over to the curved one for a curved flight, which is great. Now on the top here we have a nice big flat area where Goku or Gohan can sit, or you can have Goku standing there. You may be noticing a little bit line there. That is because this part actually does pop off. So if you are having trouble getting it off, some sellotape really does help to kind of get some grip, and you can pop it off. And as we can see here, we have the normal socket there, or section to plug in a Tamashii stand. So that is cool. So if you are going to pose Goku standing on here, use a stand, otherwise you may risk him falling off and breaking, especially if you are up on a high shelf or anything like that. Or if you definitely live in a earthquake prone country like Japan, definitely highly recommend making use of that additional socket, which is good. And then underneath we have the two usual points here for the stand to plug into, to work in a similar way as the original Kid Goku release. Now it doesn't come with a stand, but I do have one here just to demonstrate what it does look like. So let me pop this on. So we have it up on the stand here. It is really cool. So depending on the position, you can obviously move the stand around to get a bit more of an angle on Nimbus himself, which is great. And I have also switched out to that wispy tail. So the way it does connect, there's one slot there. So you are fixed in the position. So you can only do this pose unless you want to pop off and maybe use some blue tack or something like that to get different angles if you are doing photography. But for posing, this is really cool. It's like he's just taking off from the ground, which is actually really cool. All the texture on the Nimbus is great, especially with camera, it captures the shadows really well. Yeah, let's just chuck Goku up on there with Gohan and see what it looks like all together, eh? Okay, so got a good balancing act going on here, and not using the stand, so you can easily balance Goku on Nimbus without the additional stand coming up and holding onto him. Wouldn't recommend for long-term storing, but at least for quick posing or photos, it works really well. And you may be able to see as well, there's a little bit clip coming off Gohan. This is an additional clip, basically just for this pose. It will go around Gohan, then come underneath Goku's arm. So if he does fall off, it should kind of just dangle there, or it can help clamp him on a little bit easier. He doesn't need it though, but let's have a quick look at it just so you have a better idea. So we've got Gohan here, and as we're seeing, you can see it's normal Tamashii stand clip, along with this new little hook part here, which will kind of clip and go underneath to clamp onto Goku's arm. Pretty cool, nice and simple way of doing it to keep it a little bit safer. Though we don't need it, we can actually just put Gohan on without it. So I switched over to Gohan now without the little bit clamp on. You know, in some ways it is a little bit easier to pose because we don't have the additional plastic there kind of separating things out a little bit or getting in the way. But obviously if you use this, take a little bit more time to kind of get the pose into the right part. But this is looking so cool. I'll just hold on to Goku as I swing around just so you can kind of see from the back as well. But yeah, really cool. And yeah, he balances on there really nicely. You can sit down, there's a lot of space for both of them as well, which is cool. And then obviously, to be a bit safer, just pop the back off, attach the stand to clamp onto Goku, and you'll be good as gold. So yeah, let's kind of wrap up the video with some pros, cons, and we can take a quick look at the previous event exclusive Goku figures as well, and kind of how he compares. Yeah, and as we saw earlier, the difference with the full power gi, you know, it's kind of an in-between for a lot of the different figures. Same with the original Goku releases as well. So it is nice that we do get a lot of variety throughout the line with all the coming for each Goku's gi. I feel like this one here, this event exclusive, is definitely capturing a lot of the essence of early Dragon Ball. And I think that is why he really is the definitive Goku release. You know, with the new rounder shaped boots, the nice dark navy blues with some of that weaving in the orange as well. It's a nice deep rich orange without being too bright or cartoony at the same time. And then all of those faceplates, as we saw earlier, especially this teeth gritty one, is amazing. Love the detailing there. Little bit Gohan, so cute. The Nimbus, this really is a packed figure. It's amazing to get another power pole effect for Goku, and yeah, it is one of his iconic items along with Nimbus, and you know, we get the options for this as well to switch it up and change it. So yeah, definitely I think all the pros for this figure is it is stacked. So many accessories. I mean, we even get wind swept here. I mean, I wish every single Dragon Ball release would be like this. Obviously the price would be up there quite high. So I feel like the event exclusive pricing for this one here, yeah, for what we get, it is great value. I don't have any cons really. As far as an exclusive go, this is going above and beyond. Maybe a bit too much since it is a limited release, opposed to being a general wider release, which I hope we do get this later on. At least for those not attending the event, you will be able to pick them up via Premium Bandai. So hopefully the details for that will come, you know, normally based on past years. After the event ends, that should be fully announced for everyone. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments below what you think about this release. Is this the definitive Goku or not? What have you done differently, or would you like changed for this release? But yeah, basically at the end of the day, I think every collector needs one or two of this release. Obviously you can use Nimbus as shown here, but you know, using this with another Gohan figure as well would be awesome, with different Goku ones, or just having it in the background in your collection to bring it to life a little bit more would be amazing. So this is definitely a figure that I want multiples of. I'm sure a lot of others do as well. So yeah, anyway, the other exclusive videos should be up, so check those out as well if you are keen on Trunks and Jiren. And then I have the other two event exclusive figures as well, so you can go check out all those videos. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe and all that. And yeah, check out Instagram later on for more photos for these figures in the coming weeks, because yeah, definitely looking forward to having a deeper play around with all of these releases. So yeah, anyway, again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, cheers.